Effective listening skills. Don't just hear, really listen. Research shows that most people listen with only 25% of level of efficiency. That's not very good. Hearing is not the same thing as listening. Hearing is physical, listening is psychological. Listening is the most important communication skill that you have. It is the most used and the least taught communication skill. We communicate by writing 9%, reading 16%, and talking or orally 75%. Oral communication is made up of speaking 30%, and listening is made up with 45%. Myths about listening. Listening is passive. The listener is powerless. Listening is automatic and effortless. Wrong. The good listener must be active, responsive, and it requires real work and real effort. Poor listening has consequences. Sometimes these can be serious when it causes us to do poorly on tests, miss homework assignments, miss out on job opportunities, or damage relationships by misunderstandings and poor communication. To become a good listener, it is a skill that has to be learned, just like driving a car or playing a sport. You have to learn some basic principles, unlearn bad or old habits, adopt new habits, and practice the new habits until they become automatic. Good listeners put the needs of others above their own needs. How many times have you been in class and you act like you're listening, but you don't hear a word the teacher says? Maybe you're doing it right now. Maybe you're sitting there listening to my voice and watching this, and you're thinking of things you could be doing outside, or things you need to be doing in your bedroom, or things you could be eating, or your dog is barking and your cat's meowing and you're getting distracted. That's not listening. Listening is giving me 100% of your attention. Drive. So the acronym for DRIVE is what we use in communication. Drive means you have to decide to listen. You sit up straight, look the speaker in the eye, focus on what is in every message that can be important to you, and tune out the distractions. So if I'm in class and I'm talking about having a test tomorrow and you're tuning me out, and then you come to class tomorrow and you're like, I didn't know we had a test. Yeah, that was probably an important thing for you to know. R, read all stimuli. A message is more than just words. Words make up only 7% of the message. Tone of voice, inflection of the voice, and volume make up 37% of the message. Facial expressions, gestures, body language make up 56% of the message. I, invest your spare listening time wisely. We talk 150 to 200 words a minute. We can think twice as fast as a person can talk. That spare time often causes us to daydream or our mind to wander. To avoid this happening, try to not jump to conclusions about the message before the speaker has a chance to finish. Figure out where a speaker is coming from. Put yourself in their shoes, which means a little empathy. Figure out the organization of this message. Not let note-taking get in the way of listening. This is for in class. Good listeners don't need to take as many notes. They listen for the central ideas and summarize instead of trying to get down every little fact. Now, how many times have you been around someone and they're kind of talking slow? And they're kind of thinking as they're talking. And you're just kind of like, okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. Or you just jump to conclusions. Like, I'm your mother and I'm really mad at you because you didn't do your homework. So I'm sitting here and I go, well, I need a punish for you. What can my punishment be? And before I say something, you automatically tell me a punishment for you. Well, maybe I wasn't going to be that harsh. Maybe you're harsher on yourself. So don't jump to conclusions about the message that's going to be sent. V for in drive means verify what you've heard. There are ways you can let the speaker know that you are getting the message or not. Look the speaker in the eye. Smile or nod when in agreement or when understanding. A frown would indicate that you don't understand or agree. Ask for clarifications. You could say, so you mean that we do this? Or, so what I'm hearing you say is, and you repeat the sentence back. Put yourself in the speaker's shoes. Try to see from the other point of view. And think to yourself, what can I get out of this? This last step is to practice, 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 practice. And here's another sheet. Great listeners actually do. Ask questions that promote discovery and insight. Two-way dialogue that is constructive. Interactions that build self-esteem. Create a safe environment. Openly discuss issues and differences. 3, cooperative conversation. Feedback flows in both directions. So I'm not the only one talking, you're talking to me. A discussion. Challenge and disagree without making the other person defensive. So don't attack the person. Disagree with what they're saying, not with who the person is. Number 4, make suggestions skillfully. That opens up an alternative path. And then this just says, good listener is not a sponge that absorbs, but a trampoline to bounce ideas off of. Levels of listening. Create a safe environment to discuss. Clear away distractions and make eye contact. Understand the substance. Ask questions. Confirm. Observe nonverbal clues. 80% of communication is nonverbal cues. So right there, if you're paying attention, I've given you 2%. One paper said 75%, and the other one said 80%. Understand emotions and feelings about topic. Empathize. Help the other person to see issues in a different light.